Well, see, Meghan, when she's not invited, she often turns up anyway, and she's just there and stays there. But this time, she obviously didn't dare.
Well, I'm not really surprised at this at all because, let's be honest, Meghan was a D-list actress before she met Prince Harry. And well, their massive break into Hollywood has, in a nice way, it hasn't gone as planned. She's had friends deserting her left, right, and centre. She's fallen out with people such as...
What do you do when a former royal shows up uninvited to your exclusive Hollywood party? If you're the HBO Max Emmy organizers, you execute the most savage PR takedown I've ever witnessed. They didn't just ignore Meghan Markle. They systematically erased her from the night's entire narrative. No red carpet treatment, no official press access. And here's the kicker. Every single photo agency cropped her out of their shots. Tonight, we're breaking down exactly how Hollywood executed the perfect celebrity erasure.
I've made quite sure that she didn't come in. And you can see how her friends are dropping her once upon a time friends who she used very usefully professionally, that don't want anything.
Picture this. Security at one of Hollywood's most exclusive parties suddenly realizes they have a problem walking through their doors. 3 guards at the Beverly Hills Hilton entrance are doing their usual check when Meghan Markle approaches with her entourage. You know how these events work. Everyone gets vetted weeks in advance. The guest list gets triple-checked by publicists, agents, and HBO Max executives. No one just shows up.
Power brokers are no longer answering Meghan Markle's phone calls personally.
The head of security grabs his tablet and starts scrolling. VIP list, no Markle. General admission, nothing. +1 section, blank. One guard turns to another and says exactly what you'd expect. She's not here. Not on any approved list, not even as someone's date. The Duchess of Sussex had somehow convinced herself she belonged at an event where she wasn't wanted.
So she's not there. So that's a very, very big cross out amongst the grade A people where she lives. They've decided that she's...
HBO Max runs their A-list events like military operations. Every name gets cross-referenced with current projects, industry standing, and what they call relevance metrics. These aren't charity galas where you can buy your way in. You earn your spot through active deals, Emmy nominations, or serious industry connections. Meghan checked none of those boxes.
Endless mistakes. You're never going to get back there. And all the things that are failing as well. You know,
the security team huddles near the velvet ropes while Meghan waits about 20 feet away. One guard whispers into his earpiece, connecting with event organizers inside. Another pulls out his phone to text the head of talent relations. You can see them glancing over at Meghan, then back at their lists, then at each other with those "what now" expressions.
Her personal relationships with the likes of Oprah Winfrey and Gayle King aren't what they were. So this is...
Here's where it gets interesting. When Mel Gibson crashed that Golden Globes after-party in 2017, security walked him right out. Same thing happened to that influencer who tried sneaking into the Oscars Vanity Fair party. Gone in 30 seconds. But you don't manhandle a duchess, even a former one. The optics would be brutal.
I was talking to someone recently whose father was an executive at Paramount, and she was like, my father...
The lead guard gets word from inside. Let her through, but manage the situation quietly. No red carpet escort, no VIP treatment, just basic crowd control. They make the call to avoid a public spectacle while keeping her contained. Smart move, actually. Ejecting her would create headlines about discrimination and royal treatment. Better to let her embarrass herself naturally.
Royal family to try and break into Hollywood again and to try and...
The security conversation ends with what sources describe as resigned acceptance. One guard reportedly said they'd handle it diplomatically, industry code for making someone disappear without actually removing them. The decision gets made to treat Meghan like any other gatecrasher, just with better manners.
And that's it, basically. So she's had it, and it must absolutely upset her to the ceiling. Very hurtful.
So they wave her through with the kind of polite indifference you'd show a tourist who wandered into the wrong building. No special protocols, no acknowledgement of her titles, just basic human courtesy extended to someone who clearly didn't belong. The guards exchange looks that say everything. This is going to be a long night. That security checkpoint moment set the tone for everything that followed. The organizers had decided on their strategy: controlled tolerance with systematic marginalization. What happens when 200 of Hollywood's biggest names collectively decide to pretend someone doesn't exist? The Beverly Hills Hilton ballroom was buzzing with champagne toasts and industry gossip until Meghan stepped through those doors. Then something shifted. You know that feeling when you walk into a room and everyone stops talking? This was worse than that. Witnesses describe hearing actual groans ripple through the crowd. Not loud ones. These are professionals who've mastered the art of polite disgust. But sources say you could hear hushed murmurs spreading across the room like someone had announced a power outage during the ceremony. The energy went from electric celebration to awkward funeral viewing in about 30 seconds. Watch what happens to body language when Hollywood decides you're toxic. Conversations stopped mid-sentence as people suddenly found their phones absolutely fascinating. Those perfect networking circles that form naturally at these events started closing ranks like wagon trains under attack. Stylists who normally fight for photo opportunities began studying their shoes with intense concentration. Pedro Pascal became the perfect case study in Hollywood social survival. Sources say he was mid-laugh with a group near the bar when Meghan approached their conversation circle. Within seconds, he excused himself and disappeared toward the catering station. No drama, no confrontation, just efficient extraction from a career-threatening situation. Smart move when your Disney contracts depend on staying controversy-free. Hollywood's elite can coordinate social exclusion without speaking a word. It's like watching a nature documentary about pack behavior. Everyone instinctively knows the rules. Maintain plausible deniability while making the target feel completely isolated. No one wants to be photographed acknowledging someone who might damage their brand value. The journalists and entertainment reporters started treating Meghan like a social landmine. These are people who normally chase celebrities across parking lots for quotes, but suddenly they discovered urgent conversations happening in completely different sections of the ballroom. Eye contact became impossible to maintain. Professional networking turned into professional avoidance. You have to understand the difference between regular Hollywood fakeness and genuine social freezing. Normally, there's still polite acknowledgement, forced smiles, basic courtesy, even when people can't stand each other. This was different. This was collective decision-making in real time. The room had decided Meghan was radioactive to anyone's career prospects. The psychology behind it makes sense when you consider how the industry works. Association equals endorsement in Hollywood's mind. Being photographed with the wrong person can cost you projects, endorsement deals, future opportunities. When someone becomes professionally toxic, the safest strategy is complete avoidance. Within minutes, the verdict was clear. Meghan wasn't just unwelcome, she was invisible. 200 industry professionals had made their assessment and reached the same conclusion without coordination or discussion. The Duchess had become the entertainment equivalent of a stock everyone was dumping at the same time. The organizers watched this social rejection play out exactly as they'd hoped. Their systematic approach to managing the Meghan problem was working perfectly. Here's where the night went from awkward to absolutely brutal. The organizers had a plan, and it was surgical in its precision. Instead of creating a public spectacle by removing Meghan, HBO Max chose something far more devastating. They made her disappear while keeping her physically present. Strategic invisibility through careful placement and total media control. Sources reveal exactly what happened next. Event staff quietly approached Meghan and guided her to a specific seat they'd chosen for maximum isolation. Not near the main stage where nominees sat. Not at the networking tables where deals get made. They positioned her near the exit corridor. Far from cameras, far from industry power players, far from anything that mattered. Pure, calculated placement designed to neutralize her presence. The seating choice was brilliant in its cruelty. No red carpet treatment meant no official photos. No press access meant no interviews or quotes. The organizers positioned Meghan where photographers couldn't accidentally include her in their shots of actual celebrities. You know how these events work? Camera angles get planned weeks in advance. Every sightline gets mapped out for optimal coverage. Event organizers coordinate with media teams to control exactly which moments become the official record. They decide who gets photographed with whom, which conversations make it into entertainment coverage, which faces appear in the background of important shots. Media relations teams literally walk photographers around the venue, pointing out which sections offer the best opportunities for marketable content. The media strategy played out perfectly. Photographers received subtle direction to focus on the main ballroom areas where Emmy nominees were celebrating. Staff members guided camera crews away from Meghan's section, ensuring she'd remain absent from the night's visual narrative. No accidental inclusions, no background appearances, complete photographic isolation. Compare this to how controversial celebrities usually get handled at industry events. When someone's dealing with scandal or public relations disasters, they might get seated toward the back or away from major photo opportunities. But they still appear in some coverage, still get acknowledged in event reporting, still exist in the official record. This was different. Total erasure from the documented experience. The power dynamics at work here show how event organizers can make someone disappear without technically removing them. You maintain plausible deniability while executing complete marginalization. No discrimination lawsuit, no public relations disaster about mistreating a duchess, just efficient crowd management that neutralizes unwanted attention. The seating strategy worked exactly as intended. Meghan was physically present but professionally powerless. She could see the celebration happening around her but couldn't participate in any meaningful way. Visible to anyone looking directly at her section, but voiceless in terms of media coverage or industry networking. She attended the event but remained completely absent from everything that actually mattered about the evening. The organizers had successfully transformed Meghan from party crasher to non-entity through simple logistics and media coordination. But the final phase of her systematic erasure was still coming, and it would prove the most comprehensive part of their strategy. What came next was something I've never seen before in celebrity coverage. A coordinated media erasure that wiped Meghan from the night's entire visual record. Getty Images, Shutterstock, and the major agency photographers had thousands of shots from the evening. Professional cameras captured every angle, every moment, every interaction throughout the party. But when those photos hit the market the next morning, Meghan appeared in exactly 0 of their official releases. This wasn't some accidental oversight. Industry insiders reveal the photo editing process was deliberately designed to exclude any trace of Meghan's presence from the documented event. Photo editors at major agencies made conscious decisions to crop, edit, and select images that treated the Duchess like she'd never walked through those doors. You know how photo agencies work at these industry events? They position photographers throughout the venue to capture everything and everyone. Hundreds of shots get taken every hour. Candid conversations, networking moments, background crowds, reaction shots during speeches. Then those images get processed, tagged, and sold to media outlets worldwide for entertainment coverage. The coordinated exclusion was unprecedented in its completeness. Even background shots that accidentally included Meghan got cropped to remove her entirely. Photo editors zoomed in on other celebrities, adjusted framing to exclude her section, or simply selected different angles that avoided her presence altogether. Sources describe editorial meetings where the directive was clear: treat Meghan as invisible. Behind the scenes, conversations reveal how photo agencies made the collective decision to treat Meghan as persona non grata. Editorial teams at Getty and Shutterstock reportedly discussed the market value of including her in their coverage. The conclusion was brutal, but business-focused. Meghan's image had negative commercial appeal that would hurt rather than help sales to entertainment media. Compare this to how other controversial celebrities get handled in event photography. When someone's dealing with scandal or public relations problems, they might appear less prominently in coverage or get fewer solo shots, but they still exist in the photographic record. You still see them in background shots, group photos, or candid moments throughout the evening. The business implications here show exactly how Hollywood's power structure operates. Photo agencies essentially decided that including Meghan would damage their relationships with media buyers who wanted content focused on actual industry players. Her presence had become commercially toxic, not worth the potential backlash from outlets seeking marketable celebrity coverage. The photo crop-out completed Meghan's transformation from party attendee to complete non-person. She was physically there for several hours, moving through the same spaces as Emmy nominees and industry executives. But according to the official visual record sold to entertainment media worldwide, she never existed at that event. This systematic erasure sent a message that echoed far beyond one embarrassing evening. Hollywood had perfected a new form of celebrity cancellation through coordinated indifference and professional exclusion. This wasn't just one bad night, this was Hollywood delivering its final verdict on Meghan Markle's place in the industry hierarchy. Industry insiders framed the Emmy party disaster as the culmination of months of declining relevance and failed comeback attempts that everyone could see coming. The Duchess had been circling the drain professionally for over a year, but nobody wanted to say it out loud until she handed them this perfect example. Sources reveal this event crystallized what everyone in Hollywood already knew but hadn't said publicly. Meghan was no longer a player worth acknowledging. You know how the industry works. People whisper in green rooms, agents talk during lunch meetings, Executives share knowing looks across conference tables. The consensus had been building for months that Meghan's star power was basically non-existent. The broader pattern of professional setbacks tells the real story here. Netflix projects that went nowhere after millions in development costs. Podcast deals that struggled to find audiences despite massive promotional pushes. A lifestyle brand with unclear value proposition competing in an oversaturated market. These weren't isolated failures. They represented a systematic rejection of everything Meghan was trying to sell. Hollywood's power structure operates on current relevance, not past achievements or royal titles. You need active projects, proven audience appeal, or serious industry connections that translate into actual business value. Having a Duchess title means nothing when your last successful project was a cable TV drama that ended 5 years ago. The industry measures worth in ratings, box office numbers, and streaming metrics, not tabloid headlines or social media followers. The strategic miscalculation behind Meghan's Emmy appearance reveals someone desperately trying to manufacture relevance through proximity rather than earning it through work. She thought showing up around successful people would somehow transfer their status to her personal brand. That's not how Hollywood networking operates. You bring value to the room, or you get treated like a tourist with a fake ID. Compare her situation to other celebrities who successfully navigated post-scandal comebacks. Robert Downey Jr. rebuilt his career through consistent quality work and proved box office appeal. Martha Stewart returned stronger than ever by focusing on business execution rather than celebrity appearances. They earned their way back through measurable professional achievements, not by crashing parties where they weren't wanted. The rejection was complete because no allies stepped forward. Nobody defended her presence, offered polite acknowledgement, or tried to include her in conversations. In an industry built on relationships and mutual benefit, Meghan had apparently burned through whatever goodwill she once possessed. No agents, no former co-stars, no industry veterans willing to extend basic professional courtesy. The Emmy party became a case study in how Hollywood can collectively decide someone no longer matters and make that decision stick through coordinated social and media exclusion. The message was clear. Royal titles and past fame mean nothing without current industry value and professional relationships that actually matter. What this night revealed about celebrity culture and power dynamics shows exactly how brutal the entertainment business becomes when you're no longer useful to the machine that once elevated you. The HBO Max Emmy party will be remembered as the night Hollywood perfected the art of celebrity erasure, not through scandal or controversy, but through systematic indifference. No shouting matches, no security dragging anyone out, just coordinated professional exclusion that was absolutely devastating in its completeness. This case study shows how modern celebrity cancellation actually works in the entertainment industry. It's not loud or dramatic like the old days. It's quiet, calculated, and surgically precise. The Duchess got systematically erased through seating arrangements, photo editing, and social coordination that left no fingerprints but delivered maximum damage to her remaining industry credibility.